I had a great conversation today with an IT consultant who had a very common question. How do I improve the way I sell expertise? And he was asking if I had documented this topic, my perspective on this topic, and I realized I could do a video about this. So here we go. So what is selling expertise? I'm going to share my definition from the strategic narrative canvas that you can sell, that you can find on MetaHelm.com. So here is the canvas, and here's the definition of selling expertise. Selling expertise is the practice of behaving like an expert rather than a traditional salesperson or vendor. Experts build narrative power by leading the sales process as a change process, focusing on trust, credibility, detachment, and staying away from convincing buyers. If you're selling expertise and you believe and you've been taught or you assume that you need to be better at convincing people, well, I would ask you to stop right away. Selling expertise is not about forceful persuasion. It's not about arm wrestling or shoehorning a solution in the world and the life of your client. Selling expertise is about making information-driven choices with your clients. It's about helping your clients make better decisions. Experts are not there to sell no matter what. They are here primarily to add value to their clients. And so your responsibility as an expert is to really figure out how might you be able to add value to your client. And if you feel like you're not going to be able to do that, it's about having the honesty and the detachment to say, hey, I don't think I'm a good fit for you. You should probably talk to my colleague, who do something, who have to offer something that is specifically meant for you. Now, I'm going to give you some tips to sell better like an expert. And I have 4 things for you that I'm quickly going to recap. And, as I said earlier, these were the tips that I gave the person I was helping today on this call. So still using the strategic narrative canvas that you can see here on my screen. So we're talking about selling expertise. Selling expertise is the 12th practice of the strategic narrative canvas. It's about authentic selling. It is you as an expert leading the sales process. That means that you need to have a sales process. Interestingly enough, even in large consulting firms, the sales process is very fuzzy, very blurry. It's a little bit immature, and yet these firms do really well. But if you want to really lead a process, you have to have a process. What kind of process am I talking about? Well, it's up to you to define the steps. At MetaHelm, we have some recommendations on the sales process you should use, and I'm not going to go into a lot of details here today, but at least have the basic steps that you need to lead a client to make an informed decision about buying your services or not. So maybe there is a discovery phase, and maybe there is a qualifying phase, and then a closing phase, or something of that sort. So the first tip that I have for you is, 1, build your sales process, make sure it's clear, making sure it's documented. And as I have said in other video, make sure you communicate it to your potential clients ahead of time. Make sure that they know that in the sales journey with you, you know where you're headed. You're not here to waste their time, and you know how to help them, again, make that informed decision. Now, the second tip I want to give you is that increasing narrative power in selling expertise, as I was demonstrating here. So sales processes right here, comes from having a differentiated perspective. So perspective development is the other practice that you should engage into. Perspective development is the practice of building a unique point of view, a set of beliefs that you hold for true, that you commit to in your practice. Your perspective is your chance to disagree with your colleagues or competitors, if you prefer. So leading with a perspective in the sales process is so critical, because even if you're not in a call with your clients can read about your perspective online. They can read maybe a piece of thought leadership, a book that you've written, or just some post on social media that tell your clients, what is your take on the work at stake here? So engage today in building perspective, in developing that perspective. What does this mean? Start writing, start publishing videos. I mean, I demonstrate this every day, 5 days a week here on YouTube, but I also publish on my email list. I publish on LinkedIn. And it is really through the exploration of your thoughts, wrestling with your ideas, making sure that they are clear, putting them in writing, that you develop that perspective. So that's how you do it. There's other methods, there's other frameworks that I cover in some of my courses, but at a high level, really that's what perspective development is. Why does this help selling expertise? Perspective development helps selling expertise because, like I said, it increases narrative power before you're even in a call or the room with your potential clients. They already know what you think, and they already make this decision to talk to you because of what you think, not because of other criteria, not because you're the cheapest, not because you wear purple instead of red or other details like this one. No, they make the decision to talk to you. They're willing to spend time talking to you because of your ideas. If you are an expert, you are being paid for your ideas. So give a sample of your ideas through perspective development. The second tip I want to give you is that this only works if you have clear strategic positioning. Strategic positioning is aligning your value proposition and how you approach the work with the demand of the market here. Number 3 here is strategic positioning. The more focused you're going to be, the easier it's going to be to sell your expertise to your potential clients. It is going to help you determine more precisely and more quickly if your clients are a good fit, and therefore regain or keep control of the sales process. You are responsible for establishing this criteria. I have other videos that talk about this, how you should establish a list of criteria to determine if a client is a good fit. Engage in that practice. Engage in continuously refining who is your ideal client, your most successful client, and what is the value proposition that you are the best in the world almost, or in your world, at delivering. In a nutshell, that's what strategic positioning does. It makes your sales process so much more efficient, saves time for everyone, and yet again, helps you, keep control of the frame and the conversations when you're selling your expertise. Number 4 tip is to have more intentional service offerings. I see so many professional services firms who don't have well-defined service offerings. They, at the most, they have a list of keywords on a web page, and these are really kind of empty buckets or blank sheets of paper. It's going to be about, oh, we help you with organizational transformation or resilience, and there is a high-level description of what this might look like, but it's not really productized, meaning by this, people cannot buy almost off the shelf anything in that domain. And so it's going to make the sales process so much more slow and so much more based on really vague criteria, vague steps. One of the ways I recommend to start building your intentional offering is by thinking about a productized service that is easy for people to buy. Maybe it is some sort of assessment or diagnostic. And some of my colleagues, like David C. Baker, are huge, big advocates for this theory that I have implemented now for many years with MetaHelm. I agree with them. I agree with that trend. And it feels a little bit awkward to have that product mindset in a world where we value service so much and customization, and we like to start with almost like a blank slate. I would encourage you to force yourself to really come up with something that is at a price point that is really easy for your clients to say yes to, right? At MetaHelm, when we work with teams, we do what I call an assessment and roadmap phase. So this assessment and roadmap phase helps build a clear plan, helps my clients um, increase awareness of their narrative power and see where in their system and on the strategic narrative canvas there might be gaps and holes, so they become more aware. And I sell that as a productized offer. Do I give everybody the same price? Probably not, because for some organization is going to create more value. It creates more, it takes more time to deliver. And for some smaller organizations, it will be faster, but the set of questions that I go through is identical. So that's why it's productized, it's standard, it's repeatable, it's scalable. It's something that I can start in a matter of just a few days if I am available. I don't have to do a whole planning and customizing and rethink about the approach. And no, yeah, it's not bespoke yet. We're starting with something small that gets us to know each other and that really drive the sales process again towards more efficiency. So when I say that narrative power is your leadership ability to defy the normal when the normal is wrong, here is a great example. The normal in professional services many times is to have customized offering and to have to reinvent the wheel almost every time. And I want to defy that assumption by saying that when you have productized services, you increase your control in the sales process. So you drive narrative power up and therefore facilitating the growth of your company and time to value for your clients. It's a much better deal for your clients too, because you both step into a process that has been previously defined, tested, and for which we know what the value is going to be, for which we know what to expect. All right. I hope that these four tips help you today better understand what I define by selling expertise. I hope these are actionable. I invite you to go back to the MetaHelm website, and I'll show you one last thing before you tune out, you leave here. I'm going to show you where to test your narrative power. Here under methodology, you'll find this menu here called assessment, and it's a very simple set of 12 questions. It takes 5 minutes, and you're going to get your answers to do those 5 questions. You're going to get a score for how much narrative power it seems like you're building or not within your organization. So I encourage you to do this assessment. It's free. It takes 5 minutes. It gets you a score, and it points you to valuable ideas and directions to improve narrative power, build a firm that is more resilient, more stable, feels more clear, more focused, that makes more traction, and a firm that really serves you as a business leaders instead of the way around, right? So I hope this helps. As always, I welcome your comments and questions about authentic selling. Thank you so much. Happy holidays.